no posts, like maybe almost a year. I have no explanation other than I gave up. However, I'm here to tell you my my June wrap up and my July TBR. I'm gonna do a really rapid fire because I have no time, and also just I'm a little lazy. So let's jump in. The first book I read is The Maidens by Alex Michelin. Anyways, I read The Maidens. I quite enjoyed this. I didn't read The Silent Patient, so I didn't have anything to compare. It was my first book by this author. I rated it a 2-star. Why? It was very lackluster. I was expecting a lot more. You know, dark academia, like kind of murder mystery. No, it just fell flat for me. So 2-star for that. The next book I read was A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. There was a lot of mixed reviews for this book, so I didn't really know what to rate it, or like what to expect when I was reading it. I did give it a 2-star. However, I want to read the next one. No, I did read the next one. Something about this writing was just really hard to read. Like, I would be reading and there would be I'd have to read sentences over and over, and it just didn't make sense. And also there was so much information dropping about like the magic system and the like malls, the like demon things, and it just didn't make sense for most of the book. However, I did enjoy the ending, and I did enjoy the kind of character development that the main character Galadriel went through. So that kind of made up for it for me, and I decided to read the second one. Which brings me to my next read, which was The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I gave this one a 4 stars because it was leagues better than the first one. The writing was still a little bit confusing. I didn't really like it, but that cliffhanger at the end, oh my gosh. So these books are basically about these mage witch children that have to go to like their magic school. There's no teachers. The magic system is I don't really understand, but it's basically them just surviving this school while these demon type creatures are trying to kill them, and how they're trying to solve that problem. I can't say much about the second book because there is a big cliffhanger and I don't want to spoil it, but the third book comes out in 3 months-ish. So I'm really excited to read the third book. But yeah, that was a 2-star and a 4-star. The next book I read was Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I always want to say Robertson. Margaret Rogerson. And she is one of my favorite fantasy authors. I know that she has kind of mixed reviews. Some people don't like it, some people do like it. I really love her books. I haven't rated any of her books below a 4-star, I think. I think her pacing is perfect. Her writing is good, solid, maybe. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This book is about a nun who can do some kind of spirit communication. Anyways, I'll link the Goodreads down below so you can read for yourself. I really liked this book. It was quite fun to read, fast-paced, and I enjoyed that there was no love. It was purely fantasy, purely plot-driven, and it was really fun. The next book I read was Censor. This is actually a graphic horror novel by Junji Ito. I've never read anything by Junji Ito before. So far, not a great start. I rated this 2 stars. Not scary, but the art was beautiful, and that's what saved it from being a 2-star to me. It's about this kind of volcano that erupted, and there's hair that falls down, and if the hair touches you, can't explain this. But yeah, that was my next read. Then I wanted something a little light and fluffy, so I read Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. This is just a novella taking place in the Heartstopper universe. I understand that this was written before the webtoon came out, so there is a few continuity errors, I think. I didn't really notice them. However, I thought this was really cute, a little bit angsty. All great read, 4 stars for me. The next book was actually me finishing a book that I started in April 2021, like over a year ago, and that is Pachinko by, who is it by? By Lee Min-jin. So this is basically a really long-winded novel about this Korean family that takes place during the Japanese occupation of Korea, and very sad. My soul was crushed. If you like plot-driven novels, this is not a book for you, but if you like really long and like kind of harrowing and sad stories, then this is for you. I rated it 5 stars. I really, really, really enjoyed this. This is exactly my type of book. And while it did take me a year to read, it was good. The next book I read was totally on a whim. It was available at the library, and I was like, you know what, let's try something cute. Let's try something kind of fluffy, and I needed something fluffy after reading Pachinko. And so that was Once Upon a KProm by Kat Cho. I give this a very generous 2 stars. I'm not really into rom-com. I'm not really into romance books. Not because I don't like them, but I think I just haven't found like the kind that I like. And yeah, this kind of just read like a K-pop fan fiction. Actually, when I was reading it, I was kind of like, I wonder what K-pop group she was envisioning when she wrote this, you know? So yeah, it's about this girl, her best friend. When they are 7, they make this promise to go to senior prom together, but then he becomes a famous K-pop star and he goes back to Korea, but then he like shows up and he wants to go to prom with her, and it's basically just them healing their friendship and then falling in love. So it is childhood friends to lovers, which is not my favorite thing, and also, like I said, it read like a fan fiction, so not my cup of tea, but it was fun to read. I did read it all, but yeah, 2 stars. This next book is probably my most disappointing read of 2022 so far, and that is Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. Yeah, I read Big Little Lies by her and I loved it so much. It was so like tense and like there was lots of twists and turns. And then I was reading this one and I was like, oh yeah, I love this plot. The characters are great. There's a lot of repetition, but it's like leading up to something big, like, you know, twist or a big kind of shock. I can't say any more without spoiling it, but it was so disappointing. Probably the worst book I read, simply because of one part of the plot. But I can't say it or I'll spoil it. Basically, this is about this family, this like tennis family, I don't know, but their mother goes missing one day, and it's kind of like a whodunit, what happened kind of mystery. But just, I give it 2 stars on Goodreads, but probably actually I would give it a 1 star. Maybe the 2 star, I give it 2 stars because I did enjoy reading the first 75%. However, this book could have been a lot shorter, and really disappointed in the plot. So yeah. So the next book I read a lot in June. I don't know what happened to me. Maybe because the humidity in Korea has been insane and it's been raining for 3 weeks, so I've just been staying home to read. But I read An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Again, I love this. This one was probably my least favorite out of like her 3 books. I give it a 4 star. Again, I give it 4 star. I haven't rated her below 4 star. I didn't like the insta love, but I did like the characters. It's about this girl who lives in the world with fairies, and maybe that's why it's my least favorite, is because I'm not a fairy fan. I find fairy books really boring or like irritating to read. But yeah, so she basically is an artist. She sells her art for like enchantments from these fairy folks. They give her enchantments like for protection, for food, blah blah blah, all this. And basically something happens and she has to go into the fairy land and like survive, whatever. It was very cute. The ending was too rushed, I think. It literally, like, the last like plot point was like 10 pages long, and I could have read a longer book if it was fleshed out a little bit more. I would have gladly read a longer book. So yeah. So the last book, no, I have more books, but the next book I read is the first physical book I read, and that is Kim Ji-young, born 1982, and this is actually my first 5-star of the month. It was wonderful and great. It's about this girl, Kim Ji-young. She's Korean. She was born in 1982. Wow. You couldn't tell that from the title. But it's just a kind of like an insight on the gender imbalance in Korea and like how women live. And I found this hit kind of harder because I live in Korea. I'll be spending the unforeseeable future in Korea as I am married to a Korean and we're living here. And I'm a woman. So I found it really kind of sad and kind of crushing because she's born in 1982 and it shows that her life is, going on, and she's experiencing all these she's experiencing all of these things that are stopping her life progress because she's a woman. And like it's showing how she has to fight tooth and nail in the workplace to get even a fraction of the recognition that a man does. Yeah, I kind of read it. I tabbed it a lot. There's a lot of great quotes in here, and like kind of I really like that she kind of put some statistics and facts in there, because and like actually put references, because it shows that it's not just a story, it's real numbers, it's real experiences from these women. So that's Kim Ji-young, born 1982. And the next book I read was Almond by Won Pyong-son. And this was, I'm sure you guys have seen it talked about on Bookstagram before, but this is about a kid whose amygdala is shrunken. I can't remember the name of the disorder. Alexithymia? I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I studied psych. But, and it's about him and this friend that he meets, and he can't feel enough. His friend feels too much. And it's kind of like how they balance each other out and how they're living, and how this boy has to kind of learn to live, basically acting every like interaction with humans. And I really loved it. Again, I tabbed it because it was wonderful, and lots of quotes. Actually, I've started writing in my books recently because why not? It's mine. I'm not going to sell it or donate it. It's mine. I like the interactive reading experience. But yeah, I give this 5 stars, and I highly recommend it if you want kind of a shorter read. That I read this in one day. And yeah, lots to think about from this one. The next book I read is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Fantasy, lots of representation. The main character is a black woman, which we need more of, and it's kind of amazing. I really, really love this. I rated this 4 stars, but actually 4.5. I'm going to say 4.5. The half star is because there's a lot of information dumping. I can't even properly explain this to you because I still don't understand the world. Not understand, but it was so tricky, so thickly layered that it was hard to retain stuff as you're reading. However, the plot was chef's kiss. I really enjoyed it. The cliffhanger wasn't really a cliffhanger, but I'm really excited for the next book to come out and read it. And yeah, I highly recommend. 4.5 stars, fantasy, read it. The next book I read was a total surprise. It's The Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I read We Were Liars years ago. Loved it. This book, not so much. Not so much. She tried to do kind of like a, whoa, didn't see that coming moment. But it didn't really work. I think We Were Liars did not need a prequel. Did not need any extension. But we got it. I read it because I had to skip the loan from the skip the wait loan from the library. Just not for me. Just read it if you want to, but not worth my time. And the last book I read, finally, this has been on my TBR forever, and that was Six of Crows. If you're watching this, you're probably like, you're reading that in 2022 for the first time. And yeah, I did. I really, really, really didn't like the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I automatically assumed I would hate this as well. But it turns out it was not a problem of Bardugo's writing, rather I just hated that plot and the characters. Sorry. But this was amazing. 5 stars. Flat out, 5 stars. My tabs. I had to buy more tabs after reading this book. I love the characters. I just love it so much. I think I might make a whole video on this book and Crooked Kingdom once I'm finished because, you know, I have a lot to say and I have a lot of things to think about. And I'm just really afraid of how much Crooked Kingdom is going to hurt my heart. So, yeah. So that's all I read in June. I am currently reading 2 other books, Crooked Kingdom and One Last Stop. I don't know if I'll finish them by the end of the month because I'm really busy. But let's just do a quick June TBR or July TBR. I don't know if this is going to be true and actually what I read because 1, I'm a mood reader, and 2, I kind of read what loans come into me at the library. So I have like 14 books on my hold shelf. So I just read them when they come in because I hate waiting again. So yeah, but here's the physical books I want to read. I won't mention any ebooks because I don't know what's coming to me at all. So the first book, I'm currently reading it, like I said, but I want to give it a finish, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I'm about 60 pages in right now, but I'm really busy this week and the next weekend, so I don't have much time to read, but I'm so afraid this is going to kill me. But yeah, I'm on part 2, by the way. But yeah, I think right now my favorite character so far is Nina. I don't know, I just love her. Something about her. She reminds me of me a little bit, but also she's just so sweet, even though I just love Nina. But yeah, so Crooked Kingdom. The next book I want to read is something that's been talked about a lot on Bookstagram and BookTube, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six. I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and I really enjoyed it. I like her writing, and then I heard that this book is quite on par with that in quality. So bought it, gonna read it eventually. And next I want to read Crying in Hmart by Michelle Zoner. Anyways, I want to read this. I heard that it's amazing and I don't actually really know what it's about, just that it's kind of a memoir. But a lot of people said they cried when reading that. I could use a good therapeutic cry. I was also suggested to read the audiobook, so I might get that from the library and kind of do it simultaneously, audiobook and physical book. But yeah, I'm excited to try this one. The next one, I want to read The Silent Patient. Please excuse this really terrible mass market paperback. The options for ordering English books in Korea is very, very low. I saw this and I was like, oh wow, it's only 8,000 won, which is like $9 Canadian. I ordered it. This showed up. I hate mass market paperback. I don't know why. I just think they're ugly. They look ugly on the shelf. However, they are really easy to read. I don't know if you can hear, but it just started pouring rain. It's Jangma season in Korea. Jangma season is like monsoon season, so It's really raining. Okay, I'll show you my last book. The last book I want to read is Little Women because I really want to watch the movie and I want to read the book first. I did start it on the e-reader once, but the loan ran out, and then this was only like $6, so I was like, you know what, I'll get it. I thought it would be bigger than this, but yeah, so I want to read Little Women, and hopefully I'll probably read some ebooks as well. However, it just depends on what comes into me at the library on the Libby app. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I'm gonna try and make more booktube videos. I've been reading a lot lately, and I'm really feeling that like passion for books coming back after a really long dry spell, and I want to share these things. I like making content based on the books I'm reading because I have an obsession. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions as to what to post next, I think it's gonna be a Crooked Kingdoms reading vlog, but we don't know, you know. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.